Today is the 50th anniversary of the assassination of President John F. Kennedy.
It's a moment engraved into the minds of many across America. Tonight, we're going to take you a look at history through the eyes of a man who says this day made a major impact on his life. Longtime CBS News anchor and reporter Bob Schieffer says November 22, 1963 will forever be etched in his memory, both professionally and personally. You said JFK's death affected my whole outlook on life. Is that quote accurate? If so, how did it affect you?
Well, I think it just reminded all of us of the frailty of life, of the preciousness of life. People always ask me, did it impact on my career? And I suppose it had some impact. But the impact was really, I think, on my psyche, as it were. I mean, from that day on, I just kind of always tried to cram as much as I could into every single day of my life.
6 years before joining CBS News in 1969, Schieffer was a reporter for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, a Texas-based newspaper. One phone call during the fateful weekend when President John F. Kennedy was fatally shot resulted in Schieffer interviewing Marguerite Oswald, the mother of then-accused JFK murderer Lee Harvey Oswald.
I was not assigned to cover this story, but I was on the city desk after the president was shot, and I'm trying to help answer the phones, and a woman called in and said, is there anybody there who could give me a ride to Dallas? And I said, well, lady, you know, we don't run a taxi service here, and besides, the president has been shot. And she said, yes, I heard it on the radio. I think it's my son that they've arrested. And it was Lee Harvey Oswald's mother. Another reporter and I went out to the address she gave us, picked her up. We drove her to Dallas, and I interviewed her on the way.
Do you still take things you learned 50 years ago, and specifically that time, that you apply to your current role with CBS News?
Yeah, answer the phone. You know, and when a story happens, try to find out something about it. You know, I see these people sitting around and I can't understand what they're doing. The phones will be ringing away. I say, that might be your big story. Answer that phone. I've taught my children the same thing. It makes my wife mad because she thinks, well, she said, well, look at the caller ID. You know, it's probably some telemarketer. I can't help it.
Schieffer feels the tragic loss of JFK affected not just himself and the city of Dallas, Texas, but the entire country as well.
It's impossible to overemphasize the impact that it had on the country that weekend. I mean, you know, when they had this funeral, people all over America, they were just glued to their television sets. It was like we had all gone to the same funeral. It really hit the country hard, and it really took a while for it to recover. I'm not sure the country has ever been quite the same since that weekend.
If you'd like to take a look at the John F. Kennedy series in its entirety, we are airing a special presentation tomorrow at 1 p.m. That's noon Central, right here on News 10.
And that will be a good show.
Thank you. And what gets me, Patrice, all the people we talked to, how vividly they remembered 50 years ago. It's like it happened yesterday.
Absolutely.